And like that's what I'm talking about. If you ain't waving in like this from that intro, I don't know what you doing. Well, you know what I'm saying, fam?
Already.
What's happening? What's going on? What's shaking and baking? Hello, world. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome back and welcome to us for the first time. I got my partner. I'm Mike, Michigan, your host right here on I'm from the Zoo. Fam, where you from?
I'm from the zoo, baby. I'm from the zoo.
That's my man, B-Dubb, D-Doubler10. Man, how you been doing this week, man? What's going on with you?
Shit. Day by day, baby. Every day, one day at a time, right?
Right, that's right,
Having
right.
an all right morning. Got
It's
my brother on here, so it's all good, you know?
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what, brother? It doesn't surprise me what we pull out of the hat, man, because you know what I'm saying? God has always got our hand on us. Hey, check last week's show with Miss Tara Renee, or check the week before that, because guess what? We are already up to our 24th episode, Dubb. 24. You know what I'm saying? And that's a magical number right there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got a lot of game to it. You know what
Kobe
I'm
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Not only is Kobe Bryant, it's the year 2024. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
So one thing about that is, you have the magical gift of gab, and I got the magical gift of gab because we from the zoo. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we about to give you so much game. You see, you got the net worth on. Better get your ears ready. Better get your eyes open, because it's about to hear. What you about to hear is about what you about to receive. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce a husband and wife team, Dubb, that you met. How would you like to introduce them today, Dubb? These are your good peoples that you're bringing into us.
Oh, yeah, my homeboy, my brother from another mother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The egg roll lover. Already. Donald Dorsey and his wife, Lisa. And I'd like to welcome them to the show. Thank you for coming.
Come on in. Come on in.
Yeah.
Welcome. Mr. and Mrs. Dorsey. Mr. Dorsey, how you doing?
Blessed this morning. Listen, my wife had to bow out. She didn't put her little, I call it war paint, but her beautify herself. So It's just, I do apologize, but it's just me on today.
Oh, no,
it's all right.
No worries. I just wanted to make sure that I gave you both a proper due, because you are a envisioning, enterprising company and business of people. But first, you know what, Mr. Dorsey, we want to thank you so much for being here, a guest on I'm from the Zoo. B-Dubb talks so highly from you. And I was talking, like I was saying earlier when we just met, I was talking to my brother Chad, and he said that you have an amazing story. So we can't wait to hear from you and jump into it. Mr. Dorsey, we're from Kalamazoo. Where are you from, sir?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we not too far from each other. They call us the mistake by the lake, but you know what? You know, all the good athletes, talent come out of Ohio,
That's
Michigan area. Absolutely, yes.
That's real right there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, big shouts up to Cleveland, Ohio, man, Lake Erie,
Yeah.
everything. Say, remember, hey, Doug, remember all them Cedar Point trips we used to take when we was
No,
kids?
Sandusky.
Come on,
Sandusky,
Sandusky, stand
Fort
up.
Clinton, Pudding Bay,
Hey, you
Yeah.
know what?
The flats. The
the
flats
flat.
back in the day.
Flats.
Yeah,
Oh man, the flats. If you was 18, you was on the flats.
right. Detroit
You,
Hart Plaza, you know.
now
Yeah,
they've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there, and the Cleveland Browns are surging. And
yes.
it'd be little of me not to go ahead and say the Cavaliers won a championship with LeBron James coming from
Still,
Akron. All
still
right.
put.
Here's another little thing about Ohio. I went to Kent State one year. So shout out to all my Kent State brothers that are there and sisters that are there, and athletes and fraternities and all the people, all that went to the school and everything. And shouts out to everybody in the hoods of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
99th, baby, 99th.
Bone Thugs, Bone
Boom,
Thugs.
boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Right.
You know what, the egg roll lover, I've been watching some of your things, and this is what I wanted to do this little test out here. I want to see where we at. You ready, Dub? Y'all wasn't ready for this. I'm gonna lay down my burden.
Is that Bone?
No, no, no. I'm gonna lay down my burden.
I'm gonna lay it down. Ooh. I don't know what I'm just improvising. I don't
That's what
know.
that's all I wanted to say right there, just to see if I
Okay.
could throw you something, if it will come on right back to me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you was on point with it.
All right.
It's
All
so
right.
it's so unscripted right here on Out from the Zoo. So tell us, like, okay, so we know all about Cleveland. Shouts out to my homies out from Shaker and all around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so tell us about you, because Cleveland is a tough town now.
It is. You know, actually, you know, Cleveland's a fraud state, and that's why it takes so long to really get pushed out of there. You know, and then when the brown people actually got an opportunity to start buying houses, you know, they jacked up the interest rate and they started really inflating the appraisal costs. So once we see something shiny, I love my people, but once we see something shiny, we attract to it, whether it was right or wrong. You know,
Right.
and the old adage is show them something shiny and they're gonna jump at it. So right. Cleveland did that, the market went crazy. So how that looked is you had three people from Yale or Harvard, they was doing some investment in the green areas. The green areas sound like money, but that's, you know, poor areas or whatever. Three cats from, you know, upper crust school, they go and buy a property for $6,000. And then they go and sell it to one of the boys in the group for 15 to 20, make a profit. Then they go and sell it to the other partner, you know, put another 10, 15 on it, you know, like reciprocation. And then once it get to us, you got something that's way over full market value. And then you're inflating the cost of the appraisal on it. And then your number, and then you got what those balloon payments that came. There's that shiny, bing, 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 bing. You know, you can get this house. You never could get financed before. You never, these opportunities are once a lifetime. No doc, just making up documents, doing whatever. And the cost is so high. Now you got a more or less an interest only loan with a balloon payment. You buy the house today, and in 10 months, you got to come up with a huge payment. So we was baited in with the sun shiny, and then you started from there making documents. Then it goes deeper and deeper. And then after that, the feds come in, and then they got to regulate things even more so. So then, you know, they looking at taxes. It's just the way that we fell for it because we saw an opportunity. That's what really, really made it super bad as far as the economic stratification system, but a lot of talent come out of there. You know,
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall. You have so many talent that come from Michigan, Ohio, Michigan, Cincinnati, all of that area. It's just sad that we got to launch improperly. It'd be nice to just launch on an even scale here and there.
You know what, you said
Right.
something so important, Mr. Dorsey, because we rarely talk about that sector of the United States, the Indiana, the Michigan, the Ohio. You know, Ohio has multiple source centers. There's Cleveland, there's Columbus, there's Dayton, there's
Yeah,
London,
yeah.
there's Cincinnati. I mean, there's so many big places, and then there's all these in between places, you know, like, but the thing that you had touched on about now was that. Now, growing up, did you find that the way all the way through in Cleveland with the redlining, with the housing, or was it something that was just recent with the housing market? Is that more that made you leave, or is that what you were talking about as a whole?
Well, you know, when I was young, the American way was to get property, get big houses, get a LLC, uh, get some money in the bank, get an EIN number, go get houses, go get cars, and like you see on TV, this old house, I'm gonna buy it. It's just not that way. So me, actually, I done been all over the place. My mom was one of the original weather girls. It's raining, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so we went all over the world, and she was a big girl, you know, and I guess we'll go into that side of it as well. But she was a
Let's
big
talk
girl.
about it. Let's talk about it. You
Yeah,
said you grew up with a family, your mother in the music industry, famous. We all knew that song. How was
yeah.
that experience growing up?
You know, she was one of the original weather girl. Uh, uh, 2 tons of fun. So that gimmick was big girl. Okay. So with that being said, we moved to California because that was where you could go make it happen. So me and my brother George, uh, we was just along for the ride. Mama was in studios. We spent the night in a lot of studios trying to get it. But at that time, big girls couldn't do it. You know, it was an image thing. You had the Diana Rosses. You just had
Had to
the
have
Rita
that look.
Turners. Yeah. So you had to, had to have that look, even though you had the chops, the vocals, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have been in the background. You should have been deleted. You had to have a certain look.
You
So
had
my mother
you had a
struggled real hard.
beautiful voices, by the way.
Yeah, amen. My mother struggled real hard. Big girl, I'm gonna say probably 5'50", 550 pounds, you know what I mean? So met a gentleman named Sylvester, and he came up to 2 tons of fun. And Mama was originally in that group, and then it went on, merged on to the Weather Girls. But in saying that, we went to Watts. We moved. I think we might even took the Greyhound down there. You know how that is. 6 bucks on the day with some bologna sandwiches and a loaf of Wonder and some bologna sandwiches. Choice going to get it, and we went down that way with moms, and we moved to. She had a friend that lived in Compton, the jungle around the area. So me and my brother, we pulled up. He's like, "Mama, this it." you know. So it was a jungle, but again, it's not where you from, it's where you at. And my mother always said that we're gonna get down like 4 flats wherever we go, as long as we're a family, as long as we stay loving each other, loving on each other, we're gonna make it move. So we stayed down there with her friend Cheryl for a while, and then we were walking to school every day. My mother, and she didn't have a high school diploma, so she got her GED at night, and we would go to class with her then too, you know. And then she got a job at LA Unified, driving the buses. And in the morning, and she was a big girl now. So she was walking to the bus stop, and I used to see Mama breathing hard, but she was a soldier. She was a pit bull in the skirt. Mama never showed no weakness. I can probably say 5 times in my life, she actually said, I'm sorry. And that comes from the abuse of my father, harden her up, So to make a long story short, she got a job at LA Unified driving the buses. And then that transitioned from us hiding down, hunkering down on the bus while she would on her way to pick up her bus, or when she picked up her bus on the route, she would drive. My brother went to school where she was a driver, and I went to another school called Russell Magnum down in Hollywood, in the hood still, but it was by the Bonaventure, and it was supposed to be a magnet school. I don't really consider myself gifted. I just consider myself blessed, and I went to that school. So she would duck down. She said, Boogie and Donnie. I'm Donnie. My brother name was Boogie. His name was George. Get down. So none of the parents could see that there was two kids already on the bus, two black kids. So, I mean, we went and she would pick up students to go to her school. And you would think that one of them would have told that there's two black kids on the bus, mama. They never told their parents for a few years. They kept it secret. She could have lost her job. I mean, the thing, she was driving the bus at a Unified under contracted as an employee with them, picking up two kids that went to school, and one she was dropping off at another school. But she did it. How? I don't know. So Dream Girls came out, and this was her big shot, And so Mama's thing was, you a lead singer, you a background singer. A lot of people like, I'm a New Edition. I love New Edition, but it's Ralph Tresvant, truly a lead singer, or is Johnny Gill, real lead singer.
Yeah, right.
So you got people like Teddy Pendergrass, turn them off, scare people at Gerald, you know what I'm saying? That strongness at that time with a lot of those artists I was good friends with Gerald Levert. A lot of those, and I say, Gerald, how come you only get to 800,000 units? And he said, because they scared of my voice, I'm too aggressive. So that that Ralph Tresvant soft, Tropicana voice was
acceptability, huh?
Yes, come on. So Mama's thing was, are you a background singer or are you a lead singer? Okay, so I love Diana Ross, but was she truly called like Shirley Caesar or like J-Lo? The Hispanic community like J-Lo, but she really a lead singer? Can she get down like "Take Me to the King"? Can she do it like that? But she at least, so people had their own idea of what a lead singer is. But my mother, even though you was big and had chops, you still had to have the image. So one day, she had saved her a little money, and they had an audition. It was looking for a big girl for Dream Girls. I'm your dream girl. And it was a big girl role with Jennifer Holliday. And Mama was saying, I'm going to get this. Wow. Boogie and Donnie, I'm going to get this. And we was like, this going to be Mama's shot, It's a big girl role, which is typecast anyway. You're going into it knowing that they're getting you as a fat person. Okay, but some money in your pocket. So she got her sequence dress on, and she was leaving, and we were still living in the projects at that time. And she went, and we had got a car. I remember it was a Granada. She had got her car, and excuse me, y'all, I got some nasal issues. I apologize. She went, she waved at us like, all right. We was like, yeah, me and my brother, like, we gonna get a new game. Sister's mama gonna come back with a big fat contract. Mama came back crying. And the mascara was going down her cheek, and I was like, oh, it ain't gonna go good. And we was looking at her from the project up on, in the building while seeing her come in. And her best friend Cheryl met her down and hugged her up. And then she just came up and, and we just knew that she didn't get it. So we didn't even say nothing. And she was like, Boogie and Donnie, let this be a testament to never give up. She used to say this, a true player, not a pimp or nothing like that, but a true player in any game that's committed to it, that love it, will toss the dice one time, lose it all, and then go get it again.
Amen.
Never. Yeah, and then
right there. That's solid.
Right. She was a thoroughbred, and she was a big girl. That was a whole different thing. That's like you black, you're a woman, and you big. That's also a brick wall sometimes. Is your weight. You know what I mean? So
I want to give your mother so much praise, especially when it's right now for March and International Women's Month, not only just because of that, but also because it seemed like she embedded some super strength from, moving from Cleveland, going out there. Let me tell you something about the Weather Girl. We loved that record. And when I get a win, my mama would sing. And let me share some crazy, like just one-on-one, how good God is and how things work, just always to the greater good. Jennifer Holliday happens to be a family friend and sang uh 5 years ago at my grandmother's funeral.
Wow. What a blessing.
Ain't that crazy? But she's much, thinner now.
Yeah.
But she used to talk about those things. And the thing about that, the interesting thing about that is we remember the Weather Girls singing the song. And then when they had Dream Girls out, it was like, that's not the same person that was on the record. So the thing about that is, I remember as a child, I can remember being disappointed from just the hearsay from the adults. Like, that's not cool because we went to the play and it wasn't a real
Right.
that we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Did you remember that?
Yeah. It was horrible. It was the Milli Vanilli for the big woman. It was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell me, that's it's an incredible story. We thank you for sharing that portion
And
of
we at the top of the second. We at the top of the second.
at the top of our second quarter. Now, before we go ahead and move into more about that, we thank you. Dubb is always great shouting out our sponsors. Shout the right ones out, big bro.
Shout out to Napalm with Napalm Flowering. Shouts out to them. Also, we want to give shouts out to another sponsor, #1 draft pick, and Supreme over there in New York. And then we also want to give a shout out to Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
We also want to shout out Egg Roll
Breakfast of
Love.
Champions.
Egg Roll Love right now. You know what I'm saying? And Breakfast of Champions. Thanks, sorry, Dubb, to get over on you. He's always pioneering. My partner Dubb and I, man, we got an interesting vibration. We've been friends since we were young. We both played sports, and we came up with this show in hopes to just big up the zoo, just friends and stuff like that. That's how it started. And then it started to roll into people that we both have met professionally on our side. And then it started to roll into a greater and bigger thing. And so we have got the privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to be here with Mr. Dorsey from EGGROLL Love. All right. So so back to the second quarter. We back. Shouts out to all the sponsors right here on the Come Through Network, and I'm from the Zoo. So now Cleveland, I spent a lot of time in Cleveland. I spent a lot of time in Ohio. My family is originally from Lima, Ohio. So I know about you had said earlier, really something, escaping. And you all had the chance to escape. When I say you all, your family took that opportunity to move to California. And you were blessed. Your mother had wonderful song, and then the industry, we know how crazy the business is. Get on that. You got to California, you went to some of the best schools. She did her thing, getting you and your brother to school. The kids didn't say nothing. Seems like there's kind of like a pattern for your life, kind of like a wave of just blessings.
A lot of ebbs and flows, and dad, big ups to the single moms, that go through it. She was like that, LA Unified paid well. We moved to the Valley. You see, everything, it was better houses, no more struggling with the rats or the roaches.
And when you say the Valley, what part of California did you move to?
I actually moved to Canoga Parks, which was better. I didn't live in Canoga Parks. My aunt lived in Topanga Canyon up that way. She started connecting to some, our people that she knew. Mama could go after it. And then just trying to show us something better. Always told me, you got to experience it. Don't be afraid to go after it. And if her biggest takeaway was if they go right, you go left. If they go left, you go right. And you got to go deeper. And I always told Dubb, what I'm saying, that anything you trying to come across to people, you got to go deeper. You got to give them something that they have never seen, to make them take you seriously. Or you can stay in this fight, because if you bring in the same Snicker bar, well, what separate this bar from that bar? I'm gonna bring the Snicker bar with the nougat, maybe with the sprinkles on it, something different. Always reinventing myself. So with that being said,
now how did you get now I heard reinventing yourself? That's important, because you said you reinvented yourself. So you graduated from out in California. Where did you graduate high school from?
Well, actually,
Talk to me about it.
this is the switch out. So my mother was always into something, and we had come. She took us to Catalina Island where Natalie Woods died. It rode a helicopter over there, just showing her boys something different. When we got back from the island, our house had been tossed. It's
Wow.
like the federales, and the guy left his car and said, "Hey, when you get back in town," it's just like a movie. You walk in, oh, Captain James, it was tossed. It was just like that. So Mama immediately got us back to her mother, my grandmother, in Ohio. So I was probably 12. So we got back because I guess she was gonna turn herself in because they was that time. It was the big food stamp rings was a big deal. With the $2 food stamps. And Mom and her friend Cheryl was doing that. And I had never seen it, and when they tossed our house, she immediately, went into cloak and dagger mode and got us on the plane and got us. So when I landed in Ohio, I was into a school called Warrensville, maybe on Roundup Park Mall.
Where to Warrensville?
Right, Thistledown. That's what the racetrack is. Okay. So, and I'm riding, and I got the big skateboard doing white boy stuff. And in California with the riding in the pool, PPP, pool park place. And I'm riding in Ohio on a big skateboard, big, huge one. The skid pad, could do a little few tricks, all of that. And the black kids was like, who is this dude with this big skateboard? He think he white.
Because you came from California now with a bit of California flow, and you brought that to the Midwest where it was just like no crazy thing. And you know what? Let me give you a little tidbit. My brother that you talked to, Chad,
Yeah.
he has his own skateboard and surfing company and has had it for, oh my God, almost 25. He was one of the first black kids that had his own apparel skateboard company. So
big ups. Yeah, look at that.
Don't know what kind of mindset that is, because people look at it like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm just mind my own business, riding the board, and one dude was like, "What you doing, man? Dude, you're riding a skateboard, white boy." So I went to that for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it was a challenge, but like Mom always said, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So to make a long story short, I graduated from Warrensville Heights High School, went on to Toledo U, and did some background. I was doing backgrounds for a few local acts, Rude Boys, stuff like that, and Many Large.
Wait, here goes another one. Baby, I'm ready
to give you all of my love. Waiting for you. You can blow.
Hey, don't tell nobody. Tell nobody. Look, fam. Look, I see you can too. That's why I'm saying this is gonna be a special interview. I can't do this with everybody.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm glad to be here too. Man, your brother.
Now this is where I wanted to move. See, now I'm getting excited because now this is where we're getting ready to have some fun. All right, you ready? So I got a verse in one of my. I'm a writer, and Harold Luvert said my suit was sharp. Do you know what? Minute Large, Gerald Levert and his brother, the OJs. Let's talk the Rude Boys. Let's talk about your early days in Cleveland in that music section, because Cleveland has big up to Cleveland for number one for bringing that soul. WZAK. What you know about that?
Yeah, we had this Pillow Talk segment.
Pillow
Talk. We had a Katie Silk and the Big Man. We had a record, a decent sized record, and Kevin Taylor, Benny Goggins, and myself did a group called Katie Silk, and we did the Pillow Talk. It started with the Pillow Talk section on 93 FM WZAK.
Was that your crew?
Dan Tolliver, and it turned into a whole song, and then we got signed to Solar.
That's Dick Gregory, right? I mean, no, excuse me. That's
Soul Train. Solar Records.
Yeah, Solar
Records. Right. So we got signed to Solar Records. And at that time, we was always trying to, get Gerald to sign us. But again, I sounded like him a little bit. So he actually took me and Kevin to the Grammys with him. Our first
Gerald Levert and the OJs and the Minute.
All the good dudes. All Rude Boys.
People, yes.
All of them. Joe Little,
not a word,
Dave
but it is for
Oliver.
them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because Cleveland got some good acts. So we all had our little thing. We did Big Top Circus tour, little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what year that was? What was that, like 90s? Was that early 90s, 80s?
90s, and that was when like I said, they threw the caveat and dangled that with the real estate in front of everybody.
Right.
So I was 20 years old, and I had bought 10 houses that same exact way.
Okay. Now you speeding past. Let's get to that, because this is the game that we want to say.
Yeah.
At 20 years old, okay. You're at the University of Toledo. First of all, you were born with game.
I'll try.
You were born from a queen, and she
Right.
solid in the game. She gave you and your brother ultimate game. You came back home from California. Now you've gone through the skateboard thing. Everybody knows that you was different. It allowed you to be different, allowed you to have your own confidence, your own self, who you are. You go to University of Toledo. Now I'm hearing that you singing with Men at Large, you're singing with Gerald Levert. Oh man, come on. You're putting everybody together in the Cleveland scene, WZAK, making the song that becomes a show.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it's proud to say that you knew the music game, so you was probably getting some royalties, or you knew how to get paper from that.
Yeah,
But that was just a side thing, right?
Yeah, because it's a dream. I had a daughter, so and my mother used to always say, that's a hobby. You got to make paper because you got a kid. You have to make money. You know what I mean? So that won't let you.
Your first home.
Yeah. So, and I always kept that in the back of my mind, like, at that time, it was, being honest with you, wasn't a lot of money. It was the notoriety, the girls.
It was a lot of fun back then.
It was a lot of fun until it wasn't fun and the bills had to be paid.
Right.
And I'm looking up, I ain't 18 no more, 17, 16, live with moms, so
do you remember
I bought my first house.
Did you remember going to a show at the Regal Theater with R. Kelly and the public announcement, Gerald Levert?
Yeah.
I was there that night.
Yeah. You got that vibe.
Man, matter of fact, hey, Dubb, my big Ali Buchanan, big bro Ali threw that.
Oh, okay.
You remember? You know Ali?
Yeah.
Boy, this is so connected. I'm sorry, I had to put these. I have to tie these together because
that's all right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Now you had your daughter, and all this was going on. Thank you for clarifying.
1 minute left in the second quarter.
Okay. And when did you get your first home?
My first home?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? So this this one guy, he was rehabbing houses, and I didn't think I had the credit. A lot of people didn't even know what credit was. You know what I mean? It wasn't for us. We was just trying to, manage the beepers or the cell phone, or get a cell phone from Nextel. Right. That was that thing. Oh, I'm gonna get a cell phone from Nextel. So I had seen him rehab a few houses, and he said, "How about, Don, you put up the money and I'll use my credit." So I put up the money, and he was walking me through with the loan officers, yada, yada, yada. And I've always been a master because Mama taught me how to cook the books, check stubs, W-2s, all of that. My wife could be frowning on me right now, but, you got to be 100 when you're giving the game, because you got to teach people the pitfalls, what not to do, and the what to do. So at that point in Ohio, you could just make check stubs. The bank wanted to know where the down payment was coming from. You could just gift it. My mama gave me the down payment money, and write a letter yourself, stuff like that. And they knew you were doing it, but at that time, it was about buying up the hood and selling for 4 times the amount. I mean, inflating the appraisal. If you knew a good appraisal, this house was $50,000 and you needed to get 80, to get a check. You knew an appraiser to get you 80.
So it was about taking a chance and taking a risk.
Yeah, to get
a lot of people. Why do you think a lot of us don't take those type of chances and those type of risks, even though they're sitting there for us?
So they don't know.
They're in fear. See, this idea of this spookism, I'm gonna tell, or it's the Willie Lynch deal. When they, how to make a slave more manageable. You gotta put them in the fear mode. You know what I mean? You gotta come in and rape the mother and the father in front of the kids. okay, then leave. You know, do y'all know this Willie Lynch story?
We've heard
Okay,
of that story.
right. They didn't. The slave owners were afraid. There's like, well, if we let our slaves live too close to us, they'll kill us in our sleep. If they go too far from us, they'll run away. So it was a dude named Willie Lynch. He was a psychotherapist. He knew how to capture minds and enslave people mentally. They all got met down at the bank of the bayou and they sent him a letter. They all pitched in their money because Willie Lynch was that dude. You know, he would be like the motivator of our time. So they all put their money together
Donald
and
Trump.
right. And they got him on a big ship to come way to the south. Okay. So, I mean, he must have got paid a lot of money. So, when Lynch came in and on the carriage, the carriage people brought him down to where they were. And there's a whole group of slave owners waiting to hear this man talk. So, when he got there, he said, the first things first, thank you for welcoming me. You know, I'm happy to be here, but I'm disappointed in you guys. He said, because on my way to meet you, I saw some slaves that was hung. He said, I even seen some slaves that didn't have no leg. He said, that slave that was hung could have been doing the crops. That slave that you cut his legs off could have been also doing the crops or being, you know, at that time, the slave be the horse, the yoke, put the yoke around the man, and you have a man plowing, you know. So he said,
They
all
brought
those,
them all the way through.
yeah, instead of you torturing these slaves, you could have made money. You know, good economics. That's what he called it. So, and he was like, well, we can't have them too close. We can't have them too far. They'll run. They'll kill us in our sleep. He said, okay. He gave him the game on how to make a man a slave. You know, why to make the slave feel good. When he had a house with his wife in his little cabin, and they come in the middle of the night and rape the man and the wife in front of the kid. So the
Yeah,
kid traumatized. Then you leave the man alone. You leave for a long time. Let him make some more babies. Then you come back in and then you burn him up, you know, right in front of the kids, tie one arm to a horse, one arm to another horse, leg, and you pull him apart. And then if he survived, you tar and feather him. And then if he survived that, you burn him up right in front of the kids. So then you get that mentality. I'm gonna tell you, watch out for Uncle Charlie.
That's what we're talking about. That's that fear that you were saying that a lot of people have. And you know, and unfortunately that Willie Lynch story is true. He wrote about it and it, you know, understood it. And psychologically, you know, it did a lot of damage and it still does. But the thing about the Willie Lynch thing, also on the flip side of that, it encourages someone who um does work and those things to be like, you know what, we can't let people or anyone manipulate that situation that had happened in the past because you know we gotta be able to just learn from it because just like all history, we gotta know it.
Yeah, I know it.
And we gotta learn from it, and we gotta not be able to choose those mistakes. And we
yeah,
just got out of the halftime, y'all. Here with Mr. Donald Dorsey. Egg roll love. We're gonna get into that because we've got such an interesting story. Now, my brother was because we might have to have you come back.
he was saying I'd be happy to come back.
You know what I'm saying? But first, you know, like let's get into some business. Thank you for sharing that with the Willie Lynch because it does create a lot of fear for people. But what Mr. Dorsey's basically saying is like, you know, what I'm hearing is um stop being afraid, right? Go out and do something different. Don't let nobody encourage you to be afraid or I'm a tell. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, so tell us how did you how did you start your egg roll love business? And I know I'm probably skipping over quite a bit,
Yeah,
That's
it's a
all
lot.
right.
but
Yeah, a lot.
we're gonna go back and forth. I just want to get that on you know because
Okay.
if I don't say that, like Mike, why don't you ask him about his business now? Come on.
Yeah, we used to a lot, and I'm maybe come back part two. Um, you know, again, I was a mama's boy. Mama moved 2002, and I was, you know, I had made a decent career for myself. I got involved in the collection business, buying and selling paper. You know, I was a collector in Ohio, you know, when I was a younger man trying to sing as well. And I saw how you could, you know, make a good living collecting, getting people instead of you paying your mortgage, you pay this bill. You're a talker yourself, open, negotiation, close. That's the three principles.
Right.
Open, negotiation, close. Both you and Doe would be amazing at it. So I was like, wow, I'm collecting millions for these folks. how do I start buying paper? And one day, a company called in, Bloodhound, and they're a brokerage house that buys debt that's charged off, and they sell it to all these collection agencies. And it came to my line. And I was like, hello, Don Dorsey, I may help you. And they was like, this is Bloodhound. I said, what do you do? We buying the same paper you calling on, we sold it to you. And I said, what? I said, so you telling me this paper you sold to the company that I'm working for? Yep. And the lady was just gracious enough to tell me the game that I was doing. I'm collecting millions for these people, and I'm making decent money that I thought was decent money, but they killing it, doing 15, 20 grand. They have all the partners was making that. So to make a long story short, I said, man,
it showed you how much money and how much gain
yeah.
it really.
And then I said, how much I said, can I call you when I get home? She said, absolutely, Mr. Dorsey. So I called him when I got home. And she said, you can buy a $10 million package, $100,000 package, whatever you want. And I'm thinking, 10 million, how much would that cost? She said, pennies on a dollar. She said, if you had $17,000, you can buy a $10 million portfolio. So, right. So understand, a bad debt. Understand. If you got, let's just say $1 million of bad debt that people decided they was not going to pay, and just 10% of them people paid, you made 100 grand. Mm. I know my life is on the 20% rule. 20%. My mother used to always say, well, you're a big dude. And I'd be like, well, mama, back to that, I like small women, because it's a conditioning.
Yeah.
And she said, well, Donnie, have you ever seen, I'm going to what you want, but I got to give you this.
Okay, take
my
your
mother
time.
never was with a big man.
Right.
It was a crazy, and I had never seen my mother with a big man. And she said, Donnie, line dancing is for fat people. And I said, what you mean, mama? And she said, hey, close your eyes. I remember back in high school, only time fat people dance is when line dancing came on. She said, I said, oh, mama, because she was cold. She was just dropping gems about me being big, and you don't have to be with a big girl. Nothing against big women, but she used to say 3 inches of my gut and 3 inches of his gut is zero toolbox. She called her the toolbox. So, yeah, but I didn't have no daddy. So she was trying to let me know, dude, you don't gotta. She told me most small women want to be with big dudes. I didn't see those, some dimes. Ooh, shorty 140s. That's what me and Dubb call them, shorty 140s. So with that being said, that was kind of like me molding myself. So everything she did, I did. You know what I mean? So she moved to Arizona in 2002, and I moved right behind her. And she was working at Keller Williams, and she was selling houses. She got in the $1 million club. And when I got off the airplane, she didn't take me to the inner city in Arizona. She took me to the country, the desert, where the big houses was. So I was like, Mama, what are you doing? Yeah. I said, Mama, you got Jesse James credit. She said, not out here. Interest only loan, baby. She said, Donnie, if you stay out here, I put you through real estate school and I buy you a car. Just stay out here, right? So to make a long story short, I liked how she was doing it. I mean, she lived in what was called Queen Creek, Arizona. And that's kind of like the rural area. Way out there, Dubb, Queen Creek. And I was like, Mama. I mean, I was like, you live far? She's like, far from what? She would say, far from what? If you ain't supposed to be out here, then if you don't, when you go to see my mother, you had to pack a bag and stay the weekend. She made sure she lived way out. So to make a long story short, I came out there and I did that. So got my money up, you know what I mean? And the first thing I purchased was a food cart, a hot dog cart. And I did a hot dog cart thing for a little bit, made a little money, but it wasn't enough money. Right. It wasn't enough money. So, my wife was working at Discover she had been there for 25 years. She was an underwriter for Discover. And I just never wanted to work for anybody. I did the collection thing. I was like, I can get it. I can be an entrepreneur. This is what I want to do. I was trying to buy cricket stores, doing like that. Then that was the Fed program. Don't do the cricket store game. So I didn't do that. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to give me a hot dog cart. So I did that. And I was doing, and my wife had hit me on to the Sabrett's hot dogs. Her parents were vendors. Her mom, Miss Lily and Mrs. Sal. Filipino mama and Hispanic dad, Lisa's parents, and they hipped us on the Bretts, and that's the Coney dog, the Snap, the real good dog. Right. So we had done that for a while, but it wasn't enough money. So then we bought the first food truck, and I did corned beef. So at first in Lorain, Ohio, I had a spot called Just Grilling, which was Whitmore's Chicken franchise slash, So I was in Lorain, Ohio, because anytime I get down, I go way out with nobody, no competition. Okay. So I'm going back. So I was in Lorain, Ohio. Lorraine, Illyria,
Lorraine. It's right. Like that's hi. How are you doing? Give me my ascot.
You're right. You already know. So I'm in Lorain, Ohio, doing wings, Polish boys, mac and cheese, the whole soul food game. And I did okay until they start busting out my windows. The dudes from the Michigan, Detroit, busting out my windows crazy because they infiltrated Lorain, bringing the dope scene in. So make a long story short, I went to Arizona, and then I kind of started, I adopted the chicken wing, Polish boy. And she was like, you ain't gonna make no money. She's like,
wasn't there a Lolo's? I think
Lolo's. That dude
waffle out there in Phoenix.
Lolo's chicken and waffle.
He is Lolo's.
Did you know that? Did you know that, gentleman?
Me?
Oh,
I knew him.
Yeah,
Lolo.
Okay.
Yeah, he got he in the airport now in Phoenix. He got Lolo's in the airport now. So
he got a couple of joints out there.
But he won a Milli Willy for the franchise. Wow. $1.2 million. I mean, he making that though. That young man, and he your age. He young, he's young, And so
his family, his family the one time. He good people.
Roscoe.
Good food too. Good food.
Good house. The ambiance is good. When you walk into the spot, you can see he put some money in. It's not hood. It's ambiance. It's us though. It's not. It's us. And it's really low set bar, good atmosphere. It's really good. I like the way the young man turned that up. One of the things
that he has, like you said, and that you're touching on, is that you've got these different products that don't nobody have. And you had said that earlier about, put a little sprinkles on the Snicker, and then you had the hot dogs that snapped. And then you and your wife's, your heritage background, from your professional level, and bring it into your sourcing, seeing like we can be entrepreneurs together while we've been hustle for everybody else getting all this bread.
Right.
Do this together. And yet now you're coming up with this, and we're talking about Lolo's because we were talking about how they had a different product to area. They're killing it. And not only was it just a different of something, but it was also good food.
Yeah.
Place to be. And their Kool-Aid was off the chain.
It was good. And he was us.
Yeah, and he's us.
And us doing it like this dude. And he was young.
Right. You don't see that many
doing it. Doing. Yeah. And his aunt is Roscoe's.
Right.
Chicken.
That was the
chicken and waffle.
Because that's the spin-off that they gave them the blessing.
That's the game that they gave him
in Arizona. So a lot of people don't know that this is historically. So the thing that is beautiful is that you also were in the area around the same time when Lolo's was starting, and that gave you that inspiration to see this young doing that. And then now tell us how that how did that eventually get to EGGROLL Love?
Okay. So
tell them, Don. Tell them where you got EGGROLL Love from.
I got you. So I was doing that whole soul food thing, and my mother was like, "Man, I told you if they go left, you go right." She was like, she called me fat boy. She said, "Fat boy, get all that mac and cheese, all that off of there." And I said, "Well, Mama, what I'm gonna do?" She said, "Do corned beef." I said, "Corned beef?" She said, "Corned beef sandwiches and subs." And I said, "I don't know it." She said, "Fat boy, learn it, right?" So I said, okay. So we did the corned beef like at home, like we get in Ohio, Michigan, the big corned beef sandwiches, big like, And and then everybody said, this ain't gonna make it in Arizona. But remember, Arizona is a tourist town, meaning everybody that had a New York ride. You've been to Arizona. It's my dog Butter. everybody been to Arizona, and you're a world traveler. So like I live in the South now. They said do it got corn in it. That don't work here. Okay, so I start doing Cleveland corned beef. Okay, if you Google me, I'm all over the place with Cleveland corned beef in Arizona. And I had a big, nice logo, nice big truck, yada, yada, yada. And I was getting some traction, you know what I'm saying? But then I got another truck. Then I started, and then, so my thing is I wanted bigger. I wanted bigger. I wanted bigger. And I said, well, I don't want to stand on the corner no more, Lisa. It's cool standing on the corner getting your money, but I got to have consistent money. So I know, every week or every hour I'm making attorney money. My thing is making attorney money every hour because time precious is the most precious element in the universe. Every hour. And people sit there and just, the first day we opened, we made $40 with the egg rolls. Wifey started crying. She was like, we got the wrong product. I was like, no, mama said we good. Let's just, but you got to be able to stick and stay too. Like y'all show. I remember when Dubb was like, we doing this, and I was so grinding so hard on my end, I didn't process. And then one day I sat and really watched. I said, these dudes is trying to make a statement, good content. The interviewer, I know Dubb a different way. You know Dubb a different way. He know you. So I was just looking at y'all dynamic, and I was telling your brother, I said, man, this dude, he pulled some good questions out. And then you said, I don't know if you wrote anything down, excuse me. I don't know if you studied. Obviously, I don't know, but you know how to pull out good questions. This is a good interview potential for both of y'all. This you just never know from a baby to a man where this thing could just go. So we're making noise. And we went from on the corner, pulling up with the food truck on the corner to doing like farmers market. So everybody come and they say, well, I want a food truck. And I say, dude, you don't know this is a lot of work. Why don't you do a few farmers markets, shadow with some friends first and see if you even like this. So I always say, go do. And well, I don't have money for a food truck. We'll get you some tents, some signage, and get you farmers markets. Start there. Don't just jump out. Don't go big and bust your wig. Go small and keep it all. Wait, learn, and see if this is what you want.
Tell them again. Tell them again.
Don't go big and bust your wig. Go small and keep it all.
That's real right here from this.
So okay, but shiny. Yes. And don't nobody ever know the overnight success because there's no such thing as that. They just don't know what you did to get to where you at. Oh, he did it. He big. Man, I've been grinding these corned beef up all night, me and the wife cutting for hours, fingers, arthritis, all that, carpal tunnel, cutting corned beef. Oh my God. Starting with the Walmart, the big commercial corned beef. I didn't start with that corned beef cutters. I started with the one at Walmart that broke down and got hot.
Right.
So I said, I want to do county fairs now. County fairs is 3 to 5 days. You sitting in one place. They provide electricity. They might have some good local band or kids knockoff band. It's very competitive in these arenas. You would be very surprised in these arenas.
It's so many good food around. It's like it's competition for that. And just to make a note, I want to thank you and your wife for the preparation that you do on the food. I looked at your page and it's just so amazing. The care that she puts into and that you both put into your business. And I'm really enjoying like how you like the grind and listening to it, because I have a friend, shouts up to 1011 Killer Kane, Spots Eats in Orlando, because you said what it is to have a food truck. And then you said if you want to have some game, get you a tent and some signage and go to farmers market and start, so you've gone through those things. And now we're going into the fourth quarter and we want to know.
So Don, go ahead.
Please, Doug, help me out.
No, I was just saying, so Don, so finish kind of up at the end where you were.
Yep.
Where you were saying, can you finish up where you left off at, Don?
Yeah, so
grinding with them. Thanks, Doug.
Grinding. I mean, the corn then we did. So in Detroit, you got Mr. Fofo's, and Miss Lee's doing corned beef egg rolls. So the wifey is Filipino. And you gotta, I'm not a chef by no means, but I'm a businessman. My thing is I can take a product and I'm gonna go to the moon with it. So I these cats be having these food trucks, just got out of Chef Cordon Bleu, they went to culinary school. This is, man, this ain't, you, nobody want escargot on no food truck, even though it's very interesting. But anyway, so you know,
go on a food truck.
right? You know, so that was so at that point I had the food truck, and then I was doing county fairs, which is 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days. Didn't have to run didn't have to run the generator. One place like the Carter in New Jack City, one place to make the dope, for the lack of better words, one place to sell the product. Yeah. All in one area. I was tired of going from place to place. We would get up in the morning at 5 in the morning, because in Arizona, it's like California. You got to get up early to beat the traffic. I would have a lunch at GoDaddy Corporation, and then I would have dinner at Google. So I would be out 15 hours a day. It was crazy. We was making maybe $2,000 a day, but I was working 15 hours to get that, and the travel time. And I had 2 teenage boys at the time. So we were doing okay. You know, we was living in Goodyear, Arizona. I was moving on up, steadily moving on up. You know, getting it, but baby, we got a pool in the back. Never swam in the pool. I think I met Dubb at the resort. I mean, you know what I mean? So now I got
Goodyear, Arizona.
Right. So at the county fair, I seen people with booths, no food trucks. So I was like, this dude over here got the booth, killing it. And I got this shiny food truck. Somebody said, people are conditioned to seeing booths. And, you know, they're so long going to these fairs, they're conditioned to see their food truck game is something new. So even though you shiny and new, they'll walk right past because they're conditioned to seeing state fair or, you know, rigs or booths.
Regular booth.
Yes. And I said, oh, they're conditioned. So I went and got me booths and deep fryers, a whole setup to do it that way too. And I got some success there. And then I just said, So I got a second truck, and I said, I want more people. So the state fairs is the LeBron James of food trucking, period. So when you can get to the state fair, you've done something, especially being Black. Okay. For example.
Tell them about how hard it is.
I was going to ask
when you're Black getting into the
you have to get in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so it's a committee, and they got to vote on your food. You got to send your app in a year before. I've been trying to get into the Texas State Fair for 4 years, Doug. It's huge because they compete against each other for state money. Okay, so the #1 state fair in the country, I think, might be Kansas. Okay, I think over 2 million people go through there. That means the city getting more money. They get more state funding. They compete. The state fairs, they bring in kids, they bring in Journey. I think last year at Arkansas, I seen Morris Day. I done seen some of the best coal bands that retired old school at the state fair. You know what I mean? Some of the most daredevil acts where you, man, 80 feet in the air jumping into a 10-foot pool because they're attracting people to Evel Knievel stuff. You know, nobody ever really wanted Evel Knievel to really land. They really wanted him. The thrill was, oh, he crushed himself. State fair is that. They get the most daredevil acts you can imagine to draw people in because they're competing with each state. It's a whole, if you ain't never done it, even when you said Cedar Point, their competition is Magic Mountain in California. How many people, how many resorts we can sell, how much property, how many investors can come in to make this thing bigger. That's the whole thing. You know, it's just like sneaker and Adidas. And I couldn't believe it, but it's a dynamic to that as well. Who is the best state fair in the world? Coachella. But if you can get to Coachella, you're making 10 milli willy. Coachella.
Let me ask you a question. Now, where are you based now? And what is the feedback from your new recipe from your food? How did that transition? How do people love it? From going from we only made $40 today, baby, too. where you are right now?
Okay, so we started doing a lot better. So I started buying people. Okay, mean state fairs,
What does that
paying.
mean? Buying people. Talk about that.
Okay, instead of waiting on the money, I would buy people. So it's my A to lose. So the wifey, we would look for all of the state fairs. We would download festival.net. Festival.net is a source that if you pay a fee, every day they'll send you. You can go to this state fair. How many people are at this state fair? What year? How many years the state fair been in existence? You know what I'm saying?
Headhunter.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Look at you, boy. Headhunter for what you do. And it's versus a headhunter for anything you're doing, Lisa. There's anything you're doing. It's a headhunter for what y'all do. If you wanted to get more audience, you can actually go pay somebody, which is your sales, to get you in a bigger market. Okay. So we did that. Lisa, please. That's the wife, we. So we went and done it, started doing state fairs. And what I noticed in state fairs is those people have been there for 50 years. Some people would be on oxygen tanks. The great parents would be sitting in front of the booths.
Family business.
Yeah, it would be like somebody like 28, and he'd be there with a root beer stand, a popcorn stand, a chicken tender stand, 10 different stands. Yeah. Big pinup. They call it pinups because his family, they never worked jobs because they started as kids. So they're indoctrinated into this business. It's amazing. So
what I wanted to ask you is, like, what I wanted you to incorporate is, what would you think that your mother would think about how your success would be right now after that, after all of that, after everything that you've been through personally, because we didn't even get a chance to talk about some of the physical things.
Right.
Wise struggles that you've survived.
Yeah, we get that on the next one though.
We'll get it.
But the reason why I didn't want to so much touch on that, because it's a celebration. Like you said, we was here to get the quick game, and we know how tough and how things are rigged against us. And I want to congratulate you and your wife for being able to go through those hurdles. But my question was, I wanted to find out what you would think your mother would say now. Your success and what you've been doing on your product.
Great question. Periodically, the wifey, we would be riding, and she would be like, "Man, what if your mother could see you?" And I'd be like, "She see me because I speak to the forefathers and ancestors every day."
As above on earth as it is in heaven, it is on earth.
Yeah, I said she would be like amazed, but she would be like, "I told you, if you stay focused and diligent and put the work in, and always." If don't give them the basics, go deeper, and you don't touch the surface. Go deep as you can, and you'll win. If you got to give them something no one got, she would be proud. She proud now. I mean, and just you asked that. Just the other day we was riding, and the wife, he said, "What would your mother?" Because we just the other day, I've applied for Food Network, all of that, And we just the other day, which is yesterday when I talked to your brother, we just got Carnival Eats sent us an email, and that's on the Food Network. And then we're at the 5 states state fair this year, and next month they're doing their segment, and they got 10 million views. It's on the Food Network, and they asked if we come on the show with our egg rolls. And just before you out, absolutely, just the day before. And I said, I sent it to Dubb. I said, Dubb, man, they want us to come on the show. And so I was excited.
Food Network, wow.
The Food Network, yeah. It's called Carnival Eats.
Carnival Eats. Network. Be able to look for that. You're going to be actually leaving to go. Now, what can you tell everyone where you're going to go so that we can find you at the festivals? Which festival that you know that you're going to be at, so we can go to some of this great food.
Now I got multiple trucks. God is good. And my kids have been food trucking since they was 9. And actually, shout out to Dubb because he helped my boy get into college football. And that same boy took some work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the days when I was upset and didn't know what to do, I called him because I was like, man, my boy is not, the COVID came.
Yeah.
Okay. And in Arizona,
let it go. We got 5 minutes. Go on. Let it go. You said COVID, huh?
the COVID came and they shut, you couldn't even open up at a park. It was 20 racks if they catch you in Arizona. So I said, Lisa, here go 50 grand, go find something anywhere. Cause I thought food trucking was over. I'm in the bed asleep. She said, Utica, Mississippi. She said, in Utica, Mississippi, for 50 grand, we can get 3 acres and a 2,800 square foot home. It's old in the country. It's an older home, but it's 2,800 square foot with 3 acres. I said, you lying. Because you in Arizona, you can't even get an acre with power and water for under $1 million. With no house.
No grass, rocks.
Just with no house, $1 million just for an acre with electricity and water, $1 million, Willie. So I went back to sleep. Next morning, she tapped me, it's real. We flew down here to Mississippi, cashed him out.
Sure
I put
did.
and I'm in the country and I made it my own. I was thinking I ain't gonna never move from over here. So I'm gonna put the studio in here and my bedroom's 1,500 square feet. So my point is I knew that I wasn't never gonna be able to sell it. So I just plushed it out and made it like Better Hoods and Garden. And we got 3, excuse me. So we opened up with the corned beef and they was like, do it got corn in it? Lisa started crying again. We in the wrong place. So I started thinking, and I was just thinking, and I said, babe, we gonna bang EGGROLL Love. You Filipino, you look right. Because it gotta match up. You gotta go deep. So we started making egg. Then Mr. Detroit with the corned beef egg rolls, and Dubb said, why don't you do lobster? Or he said,
I had the lobster egg roll.
yeah, and I said, how dumb. I said, man, that's so dumb. And I fell asleep on it. I said, Lisa, Dubb said, let's try lobster in the egg roll. So it's pretty expensive. And, so I said, well, let's just put seafood in there. So he inspired that part of the game because me and him always chopping it up, trying to be better. You got to iron sharpen iron. You got to be better. You got to
How long have you two been friends? How long have you two been friends?
Oh, that's a whole nother story because I met him on the business side.
Yeah, we got some years.
You could tell that you guys, because Dubb has that kinship. When you get lucky to have someone in your corner that knows what's going on, and you get a chance to blossom. See, we've been friends forever. You've been friends forever. This is the first time we met, but we all feel the same synergy. You feel what I'm saying?
And I didn't even meet him for a long time. We just he was middlemaning thing because he's good at middlemaning it. And sometimes that's a great skill to go find somebody want the product, my services, and he put it together. And he had done that so much.
Like the lobster.
Yeah. Right. He had done that so much that I said, my wife said, you know what? Your friend Brandon, he never paid us nothing. And she said, he never spent any money with us. I said, that's true. I never thought about it. I said, that's true. She said, he got the product. He did so much middleman and he got the product for free because he was just putting things together. I was meeting him and they would spend money with me buying my business packages, and that's for the next show or whatever we do. But so for years I hadn't met him. And then he was selling his product and he came here. And I was like, yeah, this dude spent the night at the crib, all that. So we developed, and then he got into the sports part of it. And then I got a son that played college ball that I trying to get in school. And he came and did that initiative because y'all Michigan boys is big. You probably big on that too, Mich, the football part of the game. And I actually saw y'all segment when y'all was, and I said, boy, what is this? Y'all got college stars on here. And I really fell in love with the show because I was like, okay. Because he used to be talking about the sports, and I'm like, this dude right here, man, what's he talking about? The H3 and the Wonder League
it's a real life. It's a real life out here. That's why we had to have a show about it. Me and Dubb actually exist out in this world. People behind stuff together.
Man, so so me and my wife would be riding to different places. So we got Alabama, because I know we in the fourth quarter, Alabama. So now I got multiple rigs. My son is now here. So I bought a building. It's called the Food Truck Plaza. It's in Vicksburg. So I do dog training out of there. I do tactical dog training. The food trucks is in the front. That's the Food Truck Plaza. And then my commissary is inside of the building. And then I got the rental next to me.
Tell them about your bit. We in overtime right now, which is cool. But tell us about your business
Congratulations.
concept for your business packages that you have put together
Oh,
for your helping out.
okay, so it's important. We need a platform. So I do business building. You know what I mean. So by trade, I'm an English teacher, but
Okay.
there wasn't no money in teaching. It just ain't unless you got a master's and you go to school, upper crust
Coach
school.
the kids every day. You have to
Yeah,
want the kids.
it was, and I hate to say it, but it's got to be. You got to pay yourself.
Yeah.
So I do business building. I actually teach people how to never be broke and how to live on your business credit because your personal credit is for broke people. I understand because that we're conditioned. Ooh, when that credit sesame chime, there's an update on your credit. We run right to it. We don't know that the business credit is the way to become an entrepreneur for real and to make gorilla skrilla money and to get off the hamster wheel. Because you connect if you're working for someone, you'll never get rich. It's a hamster, it's a bigger hamster wheel. But my thing now is, franchising, franchising, because the mom and pop business is cool, but you gotta have family. And then that old adage is family hard to work with. So doing the franchise I'm using the same McDonald method. I actually go by the lot and I build you. My franchises are $80,000 for EGGROLL Love, and I'll show you a proven financial pathway where it makes money. Down here you can buy lots for $8,000-9,000. Okay, so my goal is to be the first drive-through food truck. No one doing that. No one. So put a sign up. The drive-through sign, the cement blocks, or Friday and Saturday you blown out. You don't hit my food truck. And then the none of your business spindle your so that you won't rob me. Just like back at home, put your money in, I spindle it in, get your food, spindle it back to you through the 2-inch A-wrap glass, like we do back home. Same principle. Boom, 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 boom. 80 grand. Okay. With the 80 grand, I'm gonna build you a 18-foot food truck totally built out with the wrap, my product, EGGROLL Love. I make my money. I put money in the marketing, with a 12% monthly royalty and I am establishing my franchise license right now, not no rig stuff. This is where I'll be able to sell a franchise in Dubai because I'll have a legitimate franchise license, not no mess. Okay.
Yeah.
Dorsey,
Right. The kids put off, you gotta be
you
right. To move around and make that money on their level, you gotta be right. You gotta have the paperwork. No, why don't you just open up and say you got a franchise? Nah, because somebody gonna come and say you have a franchise, that means something. And you can't lie. So my goal is to have an EGGROLL Love in every city in Mississippi in the next 10 years. Okay. So and then the caveat to that is I don't gotta say, well, Dubb, did you get the potatoes or did you go get the wraps? Did you go? No, you paid your franchise fee. There's a protocol you got to follow, and if you don't do that, you lose. You keep the food truck, but and I'm gonna make money from the rental because I'm charging you rent on the property on the lot. So it's the McDonald
It's basically
platform.
you're supposed to do what you have to do as a business owner to do the right way to keep a function going. And there's penalties, just like if you own a McDonald's, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, there's penalties. But if you do what you rightly supposed to do, there's profits.
There's profit, and if you don't, and then you just get off and rinse and repeat if it don't work out.
Right. Now,
Right.
one of the things I wanted to tell you is this is outstanding. We're gonna certainly need to have you come back. I can see this show going into double and triple overtime.
Oh,
Because we
would
haven't
that get boring? No, wouldn't
no,
people
no,
be
no,
like,
no, it's not boring because okay, but first of all, one of the greatest things about us at I'm for the Zoo is that we have the most interesting guests. And we thank you for coming and bringing your insight because this isn't the type of show where you just over there talking about something that happened yesterday.
yesterday?
We're talking about your life. And from learning about your life, we learned that your mother was a beautiful weather girl. You know what I'm saying? Coming from from our age group, we know exactly who that is. We know about when you taking your journey. We learned that you went from Ohio all the way out to California. All right. And then and not only that, when you got to the jungle in Compton, you was like, we here. Okay. Not only that, we here. You was happy to be there. You may do whatever you did. And then your mother learned, you learned that your mom rode the bus and took you outside of the hood where the rat race was, let you see different type of things, made good money. She was a
Absolutely.
she was strong. She was a strong-willed woman. She knew about it. She embedded into you and your brother that confidence. All right. And then you left California with this cool, hey, vibe, man. And you brought that to the Midwest and you showed them, like, hey, bro, I could be a bro and be different. I can learn how to skateboard. I don't have to do everything you did. So that allowed you to have the opportunity to expand your mind and your territory and your horizons. And then you knew about the marketing game. You saw about the housing game and how people was flipping this house and flipping that house and flipping that. So you started to get 10 houses and you were an early father. And you said,
Wow.
man, I got to get this bread. I got to keep this bread. I got to learn how to make this journey go. And from there, you went to the University of Toledo. And from then, you went on into collections and you learned about, hey, you're going to do this. And then somebody gave you that call where they showed you the same thing you're doing. Here's your value over here. What you think is over here, you getting, and you thinking you're doing good, you getting fingernails when somebody else got the whole hand, back, front, elbow, grease, everything, right? So then you take that knowledge and you also continue to go on with what your mom said, and that's not having no fear. You know, you talked about the Willie Lynch, how people were afraid, how you read that and it empowered you to get over that and go through the building instead of going around it, up it, go through it. And then you came back, and then now you came out to Arizona and you met Lolo's and you met that historical that process and what they was doing and how they were hustling it. And it made you go ahead and get grind and get that food truck. And then you learned about learning how to, you and your wife learned how to put together festivals and head hunting and learning till you get to this point right now where you were so blessed to say, we're going to take all we got, not all we got, just a little some, slap it down over here in Mississippi and restart the wheel over here and try something new and be successful. And now you have $1 million business that you're able to franchise.
Amen. Boy, your recap game is on point. Your recap game is on point.
My boy.
You're a
That's
great
my boy.
listener. Oh my goodness. Hey, I don't think you
so
wrote
much,
none.
man.
I ain't see you write none of that down. That was good, man. Excellent.
Hey, he like a lawyer without no license. He good.
Yeah. Oh my God. You was a monster.
Hey man, I want to thank you so much for that because it's wonderful. You know, the gift of listening is one thing that people lose. And you know, and I appreciate listening and learning because you can learn so much. And I thank you, Mr. Dorsey, for that, because we got so much more to learn. If you could for us, bless us with how people can reach you on social media. If there's
Okay.
a website, if there's a
So
Instagram, we're gonna
yes, all that.
we're also gonna have that on the show. I'll put
Okay.
a graphic as well. But if you could
So you
just
just
tell
said TikTok is at EGGROLL Love singing food trucker. So I sing anywhere. Be customers come, I sing something for them, and I sing to the egg roll. You know, we
he's
have fun.
serenading to the customers, ladies and gentlemen. And the
Yeah,
brother has a beautiful voice. As you see, I don't
got,
just get on the air and sing with everybody, you
yeah.
know.
Come on, talented too,
You know,
and
we can't just go, baby, I'm ready.
to give you all of my love, wait for you.
That's
Baby,
what's
now you know. Come
Look
on,
at
guys.
this. Look at this. Well, you know, my mother used to say to Mitch,
Yeah.
Donnie, what's the key word for the day? And I would say to listen. She said, listen. She said, let them talk long enough and you'll always see who in front of you. You got great listening techniques, both of you gentlemen, and you can go a long way, you know, and you're making your impression on the world. And that's all it's about, is leaving your mark, whatever that is, good or bad, you know, indifferent or different, leaving a mark, something to let the world know that you was here, you know.
That's what's up, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Don.
Yeah.
Always been my brother.
Yeah, Dubb, been telling me about this. I said, man, he's like, nah, Mike Mich, we don't care. My brother is coming on the show. And I said, absolutely.
I ain't believing Mike Mitch, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, because he got so much going on. And he was like, man, I'm gonna get you on the show. I said, okay, man, I'm gonna support whatever you want me to do, man. And y'all put together, your brother's professionalism was on point. Dubb said the producer's gonna call, and I was like, okay, and boom, boom. I was at Sam's Club getting ready because we got St. Patrick's Day thing coming this weekend in Jackson State down here. We do the St. Patrick's Day, and so now I'm doing multiple trucks, so I'm getting 3 income streams. Like Mississippi State Fair. I'll be last year. My son, because he been food trucks since he was 9.
And you know
Here,
what? Before I go and I listen, and Mr. Dorsey,
yeah,
please forgive me for interrupting, but you're gonna appreciate me saying and doing this too. Let's give a special shout out to your wife because I know she's not on screen right now, but in order to have a strong king,
Peace out.
you have
yeah.
got to have an absolute strong queen in your corner.
Hey,
So I don't want to not leave her out. I know
thank
that
you.
she's probably
Appreciate
listening
it. Her.
and
We,
could you tell us
yeah.
a little bit about how to keep a good relationship together for your family and what having a business together does in a relationship and a marriage?
Real quick, hey Lisa, he gave you a shout out. Said thank you for being the second half. To be quite honest with you, we got married and got divorced in 90 days. Got separated for 8 months and then married her again. It's been 15 years now. So you got to be a man. You can't bring boy stuff in a man's situation. When you commit like this, and it's a business, because even if you a bedroom bully, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, however you get down. After that, if you're broke, you at one end of the couch broke, and she at the other end of the couch broke. So the sexual part is a good thing, but it's minuscule, it's small. You gotta have your financing and be able to talk and run it like a business. You
Well, here's
gotta run
something funny about what came on the radio when we woke up together, my wife and I. Ain't nothing going on but the
but
rent.
come on, right? Gonna have a
I
J-O.
can't teach you. That came on this morning, brother.
Right. So how much to say 15 pleasure and a wet ass and you still broke is no good. And she say it's a business. You gotta run it. And so now that I'm older, I'm not gonna be at Circle K talking about welcome in at 60. That's the goal. Can't do well. Yeah, welcome. I take your order. None of that. The goal now is grinding and multiplying and being. You'll never be debt free. You just got to understand how to maintain it and how to work the plan and stay under the radar, because that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Because when they come and you're not prepared, you're a fly on the wall.
Wow, that's great. Mr. Dorsey,
Man.
we have had a tremendous talk with you. And
You,
if I can't, you didn't even think we was gonna go an hour plus like this, and we just flowing,
I
right?
I didn't. I swear I didn't. I got a contract with Nissan. Feed them employees for Nissan, Tyson, and Unified Brands here in Mississippi. I think we out. And I didn't even go in. I said, man, the young men gonna be calling me today. Wake me up when it's time. She said, get up, they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah.
So I didn't work the Nissan today, and that's the great thing about doing it your way. I don't have to do it if I don't want to. I don't gotta go in and do none of that if I don't want to.
I know that's right, but
And I'm not
cost to be the boss.
Being broke, doing it like, okay, I'm okay. I can go to me and my wife, we'll go all the way to New Orleans to Restaurant Depot, and that's a date for us at our age. You know what I mean? I ain't all 53 or 54, one of them. I don't even know no more. But we'll go to Restaurant Depot to do grocery shopping and make it a date. Spend a night, hit a movie, let her go grab a little purse, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then we coming back. That's a date, and then I train dogs.
How long is your New Orleans ride from Mississippi?
Man, 2 hours.
Okay. So
It's right up the way. Go hit a pellet.
For a little bit.
Y'all come down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Y'all come down and hang out, man. And I tell people all of the time, come, you can do it 2 ways.
Beautiful. Mississippi is a lot prettier than you think, and you wouldn't even realize
It
that.
really is. It
It's
really
very
is.
beautiful. It might be something that you're not used to, but it is very beautiful country down there. And there's
Yeah,
also a thing I wanted to also commend you, Mr. Dorsey, is the fact that you have extended the business of franchise to your children. You know, you've almost got the Bilderberg going down. You got your children in
right.
there hooking up different
That's
areas.
the hard part, Mitch.
Oh yeah.
It is to, I say to my
Hey,
son,
hey, the son could have played in NFL, Mike Mich.
I believe
He
it,
could have.
Dubb. If you
He just stopped and started working. But
but
he
you
could
know
play
what?
in the
I mean,
NFL. They call him the professor because he's smart as hell on the football field
yeah,
but you know what?
and in the room.
I knew he was good in football if he when Mr. Dorsey said that you was working with it. But you know,
yeah,
the thing about football is that, you know, when you're really good at football, you the thing about the football game, Dubb, and you all know when you played it, is that people want to gravitate towards you because of certain one thing, but your brain might not be wired to give them
do
what they want you to do all the
right.
time because of the
And you
physical. And so, you know, so like a lot of people don't understand, man, why you quit football, why you quit this and that, because of the mental anguish of it, and you just might not want your body to be physical.
yeah,
But what I was saying is like, I wanted to congratulate you because it, like you said, it's so hard with children to want them to go the
yeah,
direction go,
yeah,
especially when you know you got gifts from the ancestors that they need to have. And so, like, you know, my children, I'm just being patient. They're young, and I like to see what they do, you know. But at the same time, as a father king, I'm trying to set up the business for them just like you are for yours.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
difficult
But
because people say all the time, uh, you gotta let them do their own thing. If you let a kid do his own thing, he'll be on Mortal Kombat or whatever game, the war game all night long on his cell phone.
yeah,
You gotta say, son, this is what you're gonna do. This is the way you're gonna make money until you see another way. You know, because you can't, you gotta the other people, I'm gonna say, other than black people, they don't let their kids just go do whatever. They set a business, a career path for them and say, to get money out of your trust, you gotta do this. And then if it don't work out, it's cool. We could, you know, you fail. But for you to get Tommy, for you to get that trust I set up for you, you gotta go do this. And
yeah.
they implement that.
Yeah, that's not even in school.
That's
If they
amazing.
tell you make the wrong decision,
You won't get
not nobody helping you, you might not bounce back from it.
yeah,
So
you
that
might not.
first decision that you make got to be important. Like
It
you got to
does.
really put your tools and fuse down. This is what I got to do. I say, I'm gonna go to this school over here that ain't really, you know what I
Right.
mean?
They
Make
don't
a
do
bad decision, you might not never bounce back.
you man and one. So I try to not, we give our kids too much authority over their life. And I know that might sound like an ogre or I don't believe in that. That
No,
hey,
we on here,
you
we on an old school
find your
value.
own path. You don't know what your own path is because you'll be upstairs playing the war game all night. You don't know what your own path is.
But
So
now the war game making the money though now, Don.
yeah. Oh, my son.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just saying the war game period. Now people is making money off of the video games now, so it's a difference now.
well, you AI is training your kid to be a killer. You know what I mean? Think about that. It's always in gym to everything. Your kid is sitting there being programmed. AI is training that person to, when they turn 18, to go in and enlist in the army, and you already have a skill set to kill. You're already desensitized, and because you sat in the room for hours killing people on an artificial simulator, that's not got
Mm.
game. That's
Yeah, we on
program.
like that. You just really uploaded
That's
upgraded
a
the program to
that's a bad statement there, boy.
and you know
It's
what,
real.
with that one, we always, Mr. Dorsey, we always now we like I said, man, we could be here for 3 hours. I can already feel this one going. And I know,
Yeah.
but what I wanted to ask you and say, you know, for the closing, we always ask if there's someone that you could recommend to be on our show, who would that be? And also if you could give your contact information so that if anyone is interested in EGGROLL Love franchising, they can contact you.
Okay. I'm going to get
Mhm.
Kevin Taylor. This is the guy that did my documentary called Gut. He did White Boy Rick. He did Ninja Turtles. He did Fast and Furious.
You didn't
This
tell
is
us about that.
yeah, he's an up and coming artist, uh,
You have a
movie
movie coming
director.
out. Do you have a movie coming out on Netflix?
Yeah,
You got to tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, so it's called Gut, Man Without a Stomach. You know, I went 2 years without eating anything through the mouth, not even water, only toothpaste, and owning food trucks. No stomach. I'm the first of this particular stomach I have. And I wrote a book called Gut, Man Without a Stomach, and it got picked up, and it got a special coming out. And it just talks about the challenges of being like, my mother, did she make me like this? Or, my brother's thin. So what was the design to that? And people, when you mess with God's creation, there's always a consequence. So, I mean, I survived that. Went from 600 pounds to 90 pounds, where it would not, the weight loss, like Thinner, the movie, it wouldn't stop. And me and the wife, we survived it, man. And we did it all. One guy in India went 212 days without eating. I went 2 years without eating anything to the mouth, not even water.
We're gonna have to have a whole nother vibration with you on that, Mr. Dorsey. Not literally, seriously.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Dubb?
Man, this is my brother, man.
And this is gonna be on your now. When is it? Are you in production or is this next?
Yeah, we're editing it right now and doing the score. And
nice.
Might even get this edit on there.
Yeah, I was telling your brother, Mr. Mich, I'm gonna figure out a way how to integrate this and Dubb's the Mississippi initiative to get a lot of these black kids playing ball through Icon Sports and get your show, the Zoo podcast, some kind of way. Because all I do is think about it. We can all come together and win. Yeah. You got to have a good marketing strategy. But Kevin Taylor would be great because this dude, he did some major movies.
He did my documentary. Black dude.
He did my documentary. And so when I wrote the book, it originally was called Not Ready to Die Yet. And we came up with Gut, the Man Without a Stomach. And originally, I was just going to put my book on Oprah Winfrey Book Club through Amazon. I got a book deal through Amazon, whatever. And I just bet on myself. And I got in contact with this man. I said, I don't got much money, man. They gave me I'm supposed to do the marketing money. Go take this money and market it on the book. And I didn't. I took that bread and I gave it to him and said, what? And so he followed me around for 3 years at all the fairs and all of that. And it's a great movie that we did. And
congratulations is in store.
Yeah, I could go maybe. I mean, Netflix, Tubi. It's a lot. I'm just the best deal right there is the one right. But you got different levels. You got subscription deals. People think because you're on Netflix, you become a millionaire. That ain't how it works. Right. But being fat is a movement. You know what I mean? That's a community. So I believe that in my lifetime, if the movie don't touch and I don't see the rewards in my lifetime, it's down to where it's gonna land. Anything you put in atmosphere lands somewhere.
Well, so can I just say this for the record? You don't even have to worry about that because your ancestors have already done that for us. Your mother has already did that for us when she first started. You've already done that for it when you were in Cleveland, when you were showing your homeboys back in the day that you can be a skateboarder. You've already done that when you had no stomach and you went from 600 pounds to 90 pounds. You've already done that to get yourself back to going, and you and your wife coming up, putting your hands, God says, let your hands put your hands together for your work. May your hands do the work to build your wealth. And you both definitely have done that. You touched a lot of people. And so, like we always said, we come from a program in our Learner's track, Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is required. Amen. So we know that exactly everything that you're going to do and you have done is going to continue to win and champion. And Mr. Dorsey, Mrs. Dorsey, we want to thank you all for being here. I'm from the zoo. We don't want to go, but we got to get out of here.
Today's guest to get the Trump Force One.
Lisa,
what you got?
You Trump can look Force One. Donald Trump. Donald Trump Force One. Today's guest Donald Trump.
Keep plugging it. EGGROLL, it's EGGROLL Love. You can get on Facebook, EGGROLL Love.
EGGROLL Love.
And then it's just us. We the only ones. And then YouTube is EGGROLL. Yeah, I need my handles, baby. She do all the minute. Just EGGROLL.
And get on the
At,
TikTok because he can sing,
at
y'all,
EGGROLL.
with harmony. You man, we got to get on the record or something together.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the studio here. You can come here anytime, and I can cut really good tunes out of this place. And this Southern Soul thing down here is bopping. Ain't no image. You
Really?
could be 50 years old and
You know what? You know what? I got to give this to you, Mr. Dorsey. I'm starting to do this on every show. I'm very prophetic, but I wanted to say to you that I see your product being in the grocery stores. First locally, then nationally. All right. I do see you having a franchise in Houston, Dallas. This is where your franchise pieces are going to be: Los Angeles, the Bay, Harlem, somewhere in Jacksonville, and not only Orlando, but Universal.
I see it. I embrace that. I appreciate it, man.
I see these things, and I see these things. And look, I'm gonna also tell you that your mother's spirit just said, "Baby, you don't forget to use me. When I get a witness, then tell me in the name of Jesus." Come on, she's telling you to use my music with your food truck together. Don't forget who I am, with what we did, with what you got going on. Because when people, you probably be empowered in all of that without even using the graces of your mother.
Right.
The gold package.
But now that I learned your historical and your ancestral destinations, those two come together. So,
all right, baby.
That's all I wanted to close my eyes with that one in my hand. I just that's where it was on that one. Thank you for letting me say that.
So much.
All right, Big Don. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you for coming on.
All right, no worries. Thank you.
Where are you from, fam?
I'm from the zoo, baby. I'm from the zoo.
Much success.
Blessings, Mr. Dorsey. Thank you. We're going to talk to you next time. Hey, check out my new video right now. You got the rich vision on the film.
Trump Force One.
The Trump
roll
Force.
up. Check him out.
I can't stress right now. Remix. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right. Every time I walk, I'm an algorithm. Move the cosmos with the street rhythm. Slide in the spaceship to the day. Everything we touch makes history. My vibe's so great, it's an energy. That's why you can't stress me. Now I'm a player with the highest degree. So let's connect and grow the family. You got the I can't stress right now. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right now. I can't stress right now.
Noisy.
I wanna make love to you, baby. Listen, you've been on my mind all day, girl. done everything that you couldn't imagine to just be in your world. Listen, when I make love to you, baby, it's like marshmallow and chocolate, peanut butter and jelly, butter and grits, girl. The air in the sky, the water running over the rocks, the dirt in the grass, it's you. It's all about you, girl. You say it again, 'cause it's you. I wanna make love to you. I said it's you. The universe even agrees, baby. It's you. I wanna make love to. I'm not your everyday guy. I'm the man you fell in love with years ago. And I'm still here, baby.